Our final story is very unusual in that it's a two-parter. It's a twofer. Two members of the class of 2008, Mira Sengupta, pardon me, and Samantha Gonzalez Block. So first, Mira.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay. So it's August 2004. I was a first year at Barnard, and I was very shy, quiet, reserved. I was an Indian Hindu girl from Long Island, and I was very eager for a friend. So I'm preparing to go to my very first college party in the lovely Lerner basement. And I'm getting ready in the yellow-tiled bathroom of Reed Hall. So I'm standing in front of the mirror, and I'm carefully applying my black eyeliner. And little did I know, I was about to meet the loudest, she's very loud, you'll see in a moment, the loudest, craziest, funniest Jew-Rican at Barnard. And I was also about to meet the person who would get me through probably the most difficult and trying time in my life. So enter Sam. She bursts through the bathroom doors. She has a huge mess of curly, frizzy, dark hair. She's wearing a bright blue halter top, and she's carrying cartons of makeup. So she comes into the bathroom, and we're both getting ready for, we find out, the same party. And I'm thinking, wow, we look like complete opposites. But what happened was we actually became instant best friends. From that moment onward, we were pretty much inseparable. We ended up rooming together for the next 3 years. And we just did everything together, whether it was writing papers together, or studying for physics, or fighting our way into 21 and over clubs with no IDs. And we spent a lot of time talking about boys. So it so happened that my sophomore year of college, I met a boy from Muses. You all know Muses, right? The engineering school across the street. So I meet this boy, and he's wonderful, but there are some risks. He's Muslim, and I'm Hindu. And even though that wasn't a problem for the two of us, I knew, and he knew, that it could be a problem for our families in the future. So I have my reservations, because I always think 20 years ahead. So I talked to Sam about it, and she says, Mira, slow down. You're 19. And remember, you're a strong, beautiful Barnard woman, and you need to go after what you want. So I did. And fast forward now about 5 years. Sam and I are now Barnard graduates, and we're facing the tough adult grown-up decisions. So as Sam always predicted, I'm now engaged to my C's boy. And I'm both thrilled and terrified, because as I always predicted, the fact that he was Muslim and I Hindu was now a very serious and difficult problem for our families. So my fiance's father was not speaking to him, and was refusing to come to our wedding. So my fiance and I are devastated. We're heartbroken. And most people look forward to their wedding days, but I was actually dreading mine. So of course I go to Sam, and I tell her, you know what? How can this be a day of celebration? No one's going to be happy for me on my wedding day. And maybe I should just, get married in a courthouse. So Sam tells me, Mira, I will be happy for you on your wedding day. And, you deserve to have the wedding that you always wanted. But what she didn't know is that the wedding I always wanted was not one that only involved my fiance, but also her, my best friend. The truth was I needed her up there with me, because couldn't do it without her. She'd always been by my side. So I asked her to officiate my wedding ceremony. And she agrees, but she also reminds me, Mira, this is a moment in your life where you need to be strong, you need to stand up for yourself. And she also reassured me that my wedding day, would be a day of joy and that it would be a celebration. But at this point in my life, I was so depressed that she had given me wonderful advice throughout my life, but this time I didn't believe her. So, fast forward to my wedding day. So I'm standing up there. I have my C's boy on one side of me, and I have Sam on the other. And I look out into the audience, and I see all 4 of our parents there. And they're loving and supporting us. And that day, aside from many of the things that were going through my mind, I was thinking, gosh, Sam was right this whole time, because my wedding day actually was the most wonderful, the best day of my life. So I just want to mention one thing about Barnard, is that I know that I could not have done this, faced these challenges without my best friend who I met at Barnard all those years ago. And I think Sam and I are a testament to the fact that Barnard women can never be rivals, because we were bred through a community of women supporting other women, and we've always wanted the best for each other. So all I can say is I'm so honored and so blessed to call Sam my muse and my strength and my very best friend. Thanks.
So we meet in a yellow, faded, tiled bathroom. There I am, a 17-year-old Jew-Rican from New Jersey who's overexcited and nervous getting ready for my very first college party. And I can't even figure out what blush to put on, so I just put on all of them. I must have looked like a peacock with brown, frizzy curls. And as I look in the mirror, I see this girl, Mira. There she is, meticulously applying her eyeliner and adjusting her wrinkled-free lacy top. I mean, this girl looked perfect. So I think to myself, what the heck could we possibly have in common? But little do I know, I am staring at the reflection of the girl who will not only become my partner in crime for this evening's party, but also my best friend, my muse, and the person who would inspire me to grow in ways that I could not have even imagined. Different as can be, Mira and I somehow mesh. From our cultures to our closets, we share everything. Mira even invites me to take part in the Indian dance performance, and before I can say I'll think about it, I find myself barefoot sweating and gleefully jumping to Bhangra music within a sea of bright-colored saris. And that's not the only thing that Mira tells me that I'm capable of. From music to writing, Mira pushes me to do more and then cheers me on throughout. But the biggest challenge that Mira would put before me would come 4 years after we graduate from Barnard. Now, this time I'm in the process of applying to divinity school. Mira did always say that I would make a good minister. And Mira is getting ready to become engaged to her boyfriend. Now, I have believed in this couple from the very beginning. But their families are being torn apart because of the thought of them getting married. As Mira said, Mira is Hindu, and her boyfriend is Muslim. And so their families are wondering, what could they possibly have in common? So I say to my friend Mira, I am here to support you, whatever you need. And Mira says to me, I want you to officiate my wedding. So this time, Mira's faith in me seems a little bit premature. So I say to her, Mira, isn't this wedding controversial enough? I have no experience. I'm not Hindu or Muslim. In fact, I'm Jewish and Presbyterian. But Mira looks at me and says, Sam, I know you can do this. So I'm in. But before I can put pen to paper, Mira does give me a few guidelines. First, there should be no talk of religion during the ceremony. 2, I should not mention the word love. And 3, religion, love, oh yes, I should try to be a little bit funny, but not too funny because I don't want to offend anyone. Okay, so I have a bad case of writer's block at this point. But as the wedding kind of gets nearer and nearer, I'm tossing and turning. What can I possibly say that could bring these two families together and allow the groom's family to love Mira like I do? So, the day of the wedding comes, and I am standing next to my best friend, who is in her perfect red wedding gown. And I am in a purple gold-beaded sari. And I marry my best friend to her groom. And during the ceremony, I tell their story of differences meshing perfectly together. And I speak of my friend Mira, of her humor, of her warmth, of her intelligence. And I charge the families to see what I see in this couple. And at the end of the wedding, I see these two families stand and their eyes welling with tears come over to the couple and embrace them. And I hear the groom's father call my friend Mira daughter. I guess the word love does not need to be mentioned for it to be felt everywhere. My friend Mira, that perfect girl in the mirror so many years ago, that perfect bride that day, has been my perfect companion, my inspiration. Time and time again, she has given me tremendous challenges because she has believed in me when I cannot believe in myself. But isn't that what true Barnard friendship is? Giving each other challenges and then helping one another get through them. But don't take my word for it. Just ask my best friend, Mira.
Mira and Sam. That's great. So when I got married, it was on very short notice, almost 30 years ago. I went down to, my husband was being transferred to be the front page editor of the Wall Street Journal Europe, and we had to get on a plane and move to Brussels. So I ran down to City Hall, and guess who was the witness at our wedding? Mademoiselle de Penis. Thank you, Carmen. It's true. Could we please have a huge round of applause for all of our storytellers? And one more note for the woefully underemployed Rachel Susser. Okay? I have to make sure we have all the right other names to thank you. Besides our storytellers and the moth, most notably our fabulous director, please stand up and take a bow. Okay. the Alumni Association, the Alumni Office, which is Aaron Frederick, Carly Sorsher, Faith Rusk, and everybody, and the reunion committee, and we did thank Rachel, and who didn't really get to do too much, thankfully. Anyway, thank you all for coming, and happy reunion.